Right, well, earlier in the show I was mentioning my car worries, and I had a few texts from people, of course, saying what's happened to their cars. And I believe on the line we have John from Basingstoke, who's also got car trouble. Are you there, John?
I am. Hello, John here from Basingstoke. John Ashe with an E. Good to speak to you again, Mark. I do indeed have car trouble, which is why I'm calling in today.
Oh, dear. Well, it sounds like we've all got car trouble today. What's the problem with your car then, John?
Well, I don't suppose everybody's got car trouble today. Sorry to correct you there straight away, Mark.
All right.
To say we've all got car trouble is a bit much, a bit unlikely, but I do, and probably a few other listeners do.
Okay, well, what's the trouble with your car then?
Well, let me put it in one word. Cars.
Right. What do you mean by cars, John?
Well, the same as anybody means. You know, they tend to have 4 wheels, go down the motorway with them, get from A to B, that sort of thing. Although some do have 3 wheels. Have you heard of the Robin Reliant, or the Reliant Robin?
I have, yes.
3 wheels.
Yep. Liable to turn over.
They are indeed, yes. I used to own one as a young man.
All right.
It turned over. It was liable to do that.
Yeah. So what have you got now then? What's your make of car now that you're having trouble with, or do you want to keep it secret?
It is a Volkswagen, or a Volkswagen, as the Germans say.
Yep.
Golf, which in German is also golf.
Right.
And it's been an excellent car right from the beginning. Had it new.
Yep.
Back in 2007. Oh,
right.
Brand new, lovely car. No problem. Starts every time. You know, take it to the garage just for the MOT, nothing else, do a service, they don't find anything wrong with it. It's brilliant.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant.
Excellent.
Then it turns a corner. Okay, then it not literally.
Metaphorically.
Very well.
Oh.
Metaphorically, yes. Although the Robin Reliant didn't, or the Reliant Robin didn't turn corners very well, I have to say. That tended to ditch itself in front. Yes.
Oh. So in what sense did it turn a corner?
Well, in the sense that having been reliable for a long time, it ceased to be reliable.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and things started to fall off it. The first thing that happened was that one of the back doors wouldn't open.
Right. It didn't fall off then?
Not immediately.
Did it fall off as you were going round a corner?
No.
Okay.
No, it did. It eventually fell off in just opening. Well, you see, the problem was the handle from the outside must have got disconnected in some way because it wouldn't work. So what you had to do is to open the front door and then reach round to use the handle on the inside of the door and then push and try to push a bit with the useless handle on the outside. And eventually you just about get it open, and then you had to move your hand back out from the inside and whip around and try and pull the door open fully from the outside before it closed itself again.
Right.
Which is rather embarrassing, I have to say. The neighbours were twitching and looking at that.
Huh. Watching you doing.
Yes.
Yes, go on.
But then, one fateful day, of course, the whole door came off. Now, I've spoken to my chap at the garage who does the services and the MOTs, and he's told me that nobody in his experience has ever had trouble with Volkswagen Golf. They're built like a tank, he says.
Right.
You must have a one-off. And I'm thinking, well, great. Now, I'm wondering if the car was new in the first place or whether it actually wasn't. You know, I mean, the person I bought it from, he was a bit dubious, I have to say, you know.
Wasn't a dealer then? It wasn't a Volkswagen dealer?
No, it wasn't a Volkswagen dealer. It was a man who I met who said it was new.
Oh, you just met him?
Well, it was... Have you heard of that magazine called Auto Trader?
I have indeed. Yes, I have indeed, John.
It was an advert in there.
Right.
And I went along to this person's house. There it was, sitting outside the house, and this, well, slightly dubious man came and spoke to me, smoking all the time and coughing, and he wearing a hat, and his eyebrows met in the middle, and various things that made me slightly suspicious. But nevertheless, the car was in, as far as I could tell.
Right.
It seemed to be brand new. It had 10 miles on the clock, and it was in perfect condition.
10 miles?
The man said, well, it had 10 miles on the clock, because it had to be moved from the factory where it was made to his house.
Wow.
He did live next to, or very close to, a Volkswagen manufacturing factory.
Well, presumably 10 miles, because if it was any closer, the car would have had to have driven around a bit before it got to the house.
Well, that's true, but I didn't go... You know, I wasn't so suspicious to actually measure the distance. I assumed it was about 10 miles.
Right.
Reasonable to me.
Okay.
So I had no, apart from the fact this man did look odd, I had no reason to suspect the car itself. As far as I'm concerned, it was a new car, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's why I've got a one-off. Perhaps it was involved in a massive accident, and he sort of tapped it back together with a hammer.
Could have been, couldn't it? Between the factory and the house, could have been involved in a major head-on collision and been pieced together. But I mean, it sounds like you've had good service out of it. If it's 2007, you've had 20-something years of 26 years or something of good service.
Yeah,
no,
time there, Mark.
2007. Sorry, 16 years. Oh, my maths is terrible.
Oh gosh, you worried me there. I thought it was a decade of my life. Oh, dear.
So you've had a fair.
I'm not 72 yet. Sorry.
Excuse me. You've had a.
I'm not.
What?
I'm not 72 yet, Mark.
Sorry, John.
Yeah.
So you've had some years of use of it, and then suddenly it's all sort of sounds like it's, as you say, turned a corner and fallen apart.
Yes, indeed. And as I have my 63rd birthday coming up soon,
all right.
I'm thinking of having a new car.
Right.
But I'm not getting an electric one. All right. I'm making that absolutely clear.
All right.
That's not happening.
You don't like?
I know the British government wants all these cars to be electric by 2030, but I'm not having it. Not having it.
You're not having
expensive, heavy.
Mm-hmm. Heavy? Did you say heavy?
Heavy. Batteries are very heavy, apparently.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't want my tyres to wear out, and I don't want there to be an indent in my driveway either because of the weight of the tyres on me.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you're a bit anti-electric cars, then, are you, John?
Well, I don't like the word anti because I'm a bit anti-anti, to be honest. When people use the word anti, it normally means there's something wrong about being anti. So you're anti this and you're anti that. It's not like you've got any rational reasons. You're just anti.
Okay.
I'm anti-anti. I'm not, am I? Because I have a rational reason to be anti-anti.
So what do you call it?
I'm not anti-anti, but I'm against anti.
So you're not anti-anti, but what would you call yourself then? What position are you taking on electric cars generally? You're agin them. You're agin electric cars.
I'm not persuaded by the case for them. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yes. So I won't be getting an electric car. No, I shall be probably getting a petrol car, I think.
Okay.
But something, I won't be getting it through Auto Trader.
No. Or what was the chap's name you bought the car? I wonder if he's still dealing.
Well, I'm not going to tell you his name.
Okay.
But yeah, I might give him another. No, maybe I won't actually.
No, I don't think you should. No. So what? Right, you're going to ditch the Volkswagen.
I might get another Volkswagen.
Oh right. Oh, I suppose.
On the recommendation of the chap down the garage who says that nobody in his experience ever has any problem with them. And if I was just a one-off,
yeah, that's it. It's done, isn't it?
I think I might do.
Yeah.
Tell you what I might do is I might get another Golf and compare it. And then if I'm still around in 15 or 16 years or whatever it is, I can then compare my experiences, can't I?
Compare them with yourself? Do you mean?
With myself, yes.
Okay.
So if the door is not falling off after 16 years, I can look back and I can say, aha, it was a one-off.
That's one way of
doing
doing it.
Not a very big sample size, though, is it?
No.
Two cars.
I mean, if your chap at the garage is reliable and he's told you that's a one-off, well, that's it. That's fine. You don't have to worry anymore because that's it. That's the one-off. That's done. Next car you buy will be fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, yes, because he can provide the sample size, can't he? Yes. Yes, he did tell me that he did have to provide a sample, but that was for his, health problems.
Oh, okay, right.
Just came to mind.
Okay. So apart from the door, John, is it still drivable?
Well, technically, yes. I'm not sure legally, though.
Right.
But, one has to get from A to B, doesn't one? But I've never been stopped by the police, I have to say.
Okay.
Well, apart from in my drive when I was spraying it the other last summer, wasn't it? But, that was embarrassing.
Oh, yes, I remember that. What wasn't I? Yes, I do remember you calling in about that, yes.
Chlorine.
Chlorine, yes. Oh, dear.
Unfortunately, it was running down into the drain, and that was a bit of an environmental hazard. So it was £200 that cost me.
Gosh. So, apart from the door, it's drivable, just gets you from A to B. Well, I guess that's a good thing, isn't it? And then look forward to getting a nice new version of the same car for your birthday.
Yes, that would be great, and get it actually on my birthday would be brilliant. Yes, I do have a bit of an argument with my wife over this, because you'll remember that I'm very keen on transporting meat product up and down the motorway. Remember that?
Gosh, yes, I think you called in, didn't you, last year about... were you delivering pork pies?
Could have been probably Cornish pasties.
Oh, Cornish
I tend to do a lot of
pasties.
that.
Yes, Cornish
Yeah,
pasties.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, a lot of meat has flowed under the bridges, as it were. So yes, Cornish pasties.
Really? Yeah, where's that?
That sort of
Sounds disgusting.
mixing metaphors.
Oh, I see. Right. Yes. So water under the bridge and meat
Yep.
sort of passing on hooks across the abattoir.
Yep.
I see. Yes. Well, the problem is that my wife doesn't really like my meat selling hobby, I suppose you could call it.
Okay.
Well, it sort of you know supplements my pension.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really like that because she thinks it's a bit dodgy. Because, as you know, I do tend to get products that are extremely close to their use-by dates. Well, some of them have gone past, but the chap I sell them on to accepts them.
Okay.
I think he might serve them straight onto the table, but not in packets, so people don't know. That sort of thing.
Oh, not even onto plates.
No, onto plates. He runs a cafe.
Oh, I see. On the plates on the table. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, and I think he's a master of subterfuge. Actually, one of his cafes is called Dick's Dodgy Cafe, and he thinks that he can actually do dodgy things, and people would never suspect him of serving dodgy food because he's up front.
Yes.
I think it's just a joke. It's pretty good. So I give him quite a lot of stuff, especially if it, quite dangerously beyond the use-by date. But okay to my satisfaction. Well, some of it isn't okay to my satisfaction, is it, when it really starts to smell? But that's the problem, you see. I transport this stuff.
Yep.
And I use a fan now, after my experience.
Right.
On the motorway when I got stuck in the heat.
Yeah.
But some of it drips.
Right.
And drips down into the metalwork of the car and causes rust.
Oh, okay.
Which could be part of the problem, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be.
Car failing. Well, my wife doesn't want, therefore, me to continue doing this hobby.
Okay.
We'll buy a new car. So there's a bit of a problem there.
Well, look, John, we've got more records to play, obviously. So why don't you perhaps keep the meat business for the old Volkswagen and the new business, or rather the lack of meat business, for the new Volkswagen? So one can be, as it were, vegetarian car, and the other one can be meat.
Wipe out my profits, 2 insurances, 2 MOTs, 2 services. Get the picture?
Okay. Well, you're the one who said you were going to compare them, you see, like for like. So that's why
I wasn't going to keep it, was I?
Oh, I
was
see,
just
right.
going to use my memory.
Okay. Well, look, John, it's nice to talk to you about that, and sorry that you've had your car problems. But perhaps you'd like to suggest a car-related song for us to play for you.
Yes, I would like to. Yes. I think I might have chosen the song by this man before, but I think I'll choose another song by this man before.
Right.
And that'll be Gary Newman.
And
I
Gary
think
Newman.
You know which one I'm going to choose.
Yes, of course, Cars.
No, I wasn't going to choose that one. No, Our Friends Electric, I'd like to have, please.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, that's because of your sort of stance on electric cars, is that right?
No, not particularly.
Oh, okay. Right, well, anybody you'd like to do a shout-out for, then, before we play this for you?
Either Maud or Molly. I can't decide this week. You decide, hey?
Ooh. Let's go for Maud, shall we?
No, I think Molly, actually, because it's her birthday soon.
Okay. All right, John. Well, it's nice to speak to you. Perhaps you let us know when your birthday comes up, and we can wish you happy birthday from Valley Park Radio. But nice speaking to you, and glad that it's not just me that has car problems today.
Absolutely. Not everybody, though, Mark.
No,
not everybody.
True.
Great show. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem, John. Thanks for speaking to you.
Well, you didn't invite me, did you? But I mean the general invitation to phone in. It's great to be able to do that. So I've enjoyed that very much.
Lovely.
Marvellous show. Good to speak to you. See you again then, Mark.
Thanks a lot, John. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
Darren's Bar